Hey, this is Ginger from Ginger Snapshots. Hey, this week I'm in my home office working on some non-photography related items, but has to do with lighting, and that relates back to my photography because I do make some videos in my home office, especially if I want to do some videos. I'm editing in my office, and if I want to add some things in, sometimes it's easier just to do it from right here. So what I'm having a problem with is two things: lighting and camera. So it's those two things that I've narrowed it down to, and I've been working on it. So the first thing is the camera, and what I've noticed is I've been using this Logitech C920, and what it does is it overexposes me. Sometimes, not always, it's inconsistent, but there are times that I cannot make any adjustments, and every adjustment I make, it just reverts back to it. I know I was using the Logic Capture software for that for a while, and that kept freezing up, so I gave up on that. I used Logitech Tuner, and I just still couldn't get the adjustments right. And what was happening, what I realized is that it's because of this dark wall behind me that it thinks it's being intelligent. Well, the settings are set so that it's exposing for that background, which is dark black, and it's overexposing for my face, and so it's more exposing to be able to get everything in exposure. It's overexposing me, and so I have huge hot spots, or I'm just literally glowing, and so I thought maybe it's my light, and it is partly my light, because the light that I've been using is a very nice soft light, a softbox that's 2 feet approximately, but it's been constant lighting, the CFL light bulbs, and you cannot adjust them. You can change the light bulb to a bigger or smaller one, and you can pull it away from the desk as much as possible, which isn't very far in this office, and that's the problem. In the studio, I can back up, 10 feet, who cares? But in here, this is a very small space, and I can only back up so much. And so what I've done is I'm looking at this camera. I've realized that I have the C922 that I wasn't using, so I hooked that up, and I paired that with the Logitech G Hub, which is a lot better than any of the other Logitech software that I've used. I'm able to adjust the exposure, the white balance, saturation, all of those things are included in there so that I can adjust it to where I want it. And what I do is I've exposed from my skin, my face, and then what I'm doing is adding more lights to adjust it. So before I was using one light and that camera. So my first thing is I'm changing to the C922, and that's what I'm on right now. But I have ordered the Logitech Brio, and I will have that in tomorrow, and I'll do another video, or I'll tap it onto this video, I guess, to show the difference between the C922 and the Brio, to see if you can tell a difference. But I'm already seeing a difference with using the Logitech G Hub and switching to the 922 Pro Logitech. So that's what I'm using right now. So that was the one thing is that I can transport my Luminex Panasonic camera back and forth if I want to and use it. I do have I don't have an actual capture card. What I have is an ATM Mini Pro by Blackmagic Design, so I can use that, and I can connect anything with it really. But it is. I just would prefer to be able to have a nice webcam because it's so much easier. And then if I want to grab it and put it on my laptop, I can for calls. So that's the camera issue, that I'm going to try out the Brio. I decided that. Right, so the second issue is the lighting. So what my husband got tired of seeing me try to, and for him too, the home office actually has a closet in it where he gets to his clothes, and my big softbox is in the way, so he has to move it. When I want to use it, I have to move it, so it's just always in the way. It's a small space that I'm in, and I purposely chose this nice little small room for my office because I don't need a lot of space, but that softbox takes up a lot of space. It's only 2 feet wide, but it's just by the time you put it out there. So what I'm using right now is a small LED panel without any diffusion on it whatsoever. It's supposed to have its own built-in diffusion, and it does a little bit, but you can see this now. I am as I'm making this video in steps. So I'm waiting on my Logitech Brio, and when that comes, I'm also have a little square softbox that will go over top of the LED panel, and so we'll try that out, and I will come back and show you that. But for now, I just want to say that what I have set up now is and I'll put links in the description. But what I have is a light panel in front of me, a light panel to the side to light that up, and then I have another panel right behind me that you can see. It's pretty small, but this is Raleno, and I think it's actually a nicer light. I'm just trying to try both of them out, but that sort of is serving as a hair light for me, and it lights up the background. And this can be adjusted. The Raleno lights do not have remotes, but that's only at 25% power. So let me go ahead and show you that this would be with 100% power. So I think I'll take that back down to, oh, let's put it at 35. And so that does kind of separate. You want a hair light because it separates you from the background. But again, my main purpose was to be able to light me and the background so that I don't look like I'm in a black hole, but I still get to have my favorite wall behind me. So the other thing is glasses glare. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do a webcam, because I can look right into it without looking up. And when you look up, you can see the light in there. You know, I deal with that all the time. Even with the softbox, I had somewhat of it. But the diffuser will make it smaller. I also think that I favor round lights because at least it's a little bit round. But what I've noticed is if I tilt my glasses just a little bit, this works for photography too. You just tilt your glasses a little bit and it takes away that glare. It's also being conscious not to raise my eyes up, and that's not good either. So that's what I'm working on. So this is part 1, and I'll be back for part 2. This is the C922 with the softbox, and I've had to tweak my lights because of it. Created a circle with these settings, so I don't know why the settings changed, and that is my frustration with using the C922 with my camera and my light set up, and with you having the dark background. I'm fighting it. Still, you can still see a hot spot on my nose, and I've tried to tweak it, and you turn it up. I don't know. It's just, and there is no ambient light, I should say that. So maybe if I had a separate light over here that was kind of lighting up ambient light, it might be different. But I still feel like there's some grain in the image, and well, okay, so I still see the height spots. So now I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to plug in the new Logitech Brio 4K. All right, be back in a minute. Okay, here we are in QuickTime that comes with my MacBook. You know, it's not a purchase software or anything, with the Logitech Brio. What I'm finding is this software is not capable of the 4K. I'm trying to mess with this, but I've actually had to turn up my exposure for this. All right, here is my final setup. I'm going to stop making re-recordings. This is it. This is what I'm going to end with. I'm very excited. I've got the Brio camera, in there. I'm not magenta like it was when I first connected it. I don't know what that was all about. When I first got it, it was like not too much better. But I, came back in the next day and restarted, after restarting the computer, everything, it's worked perfect. I adjusted in the Logitech G Hub software, and I don't even have that open right now. It stays. Now it is daylight out right now. I have the blinds closed in my office, but it doesn't let in some ambient light. So there may have to be some adjustments at night or really dark time that I would be doing this. Maybe early in the morning, or just in in the wintertime, it's dark so much. But anyway, I got it to where I've got it adjusted to where I am lit without having a complete overexposure of the background, and that was the problem. I have a black wall, and I want it to be black. I don't want it to be gray or orange or washed out brown looking, and that was what every camera that I tried was doing. It was, if I was lit, it was actually overlighting me, overexposing, so that the background was lit. And the camera's not intelligent enough to say I need to light the person and not the background. It sure seems with all AI that it would be a little bit better than what it is. But this Logitech Brio 4K, it has been the best webcam that I've tried out. I can't say that it's better than my Panasonic G7 or G9, or my Sony camera, of course. But it does work the best, I think, for sitting at a desk, and it's really good quality, in my opinion. And I'm able to make the adjustments with that software that I want. So here's my final setup. Now look, I've been working on the glasses glare. So if I look up, you can see there's a light in my glasses, but it's not the same little squares that I was having before. So I'm excited, woo! So excited that I have eliminated those very sharp little squares that oh my, she's got little square lights in front of her. I tried it both ways. I had it side by side, and then you have the little post here, little shadows from your glasses sides, so because of it coming at an angle. So to me, the best way has been to be directly in front of me like it is. And even when I had the light in front of me, the Raleno, about a 12-inch light, I don't know the exact measurements on it, the 18-inch I have in the studio with the softbox that I purchased to go with it, and that's working, but it didn't seem to work in here. So we made our own frame. And so what we did was he took an old softbox diffuser and took it off of that front part of it, because they just Velcro onto the softboxes, and made a frame to go that same size, and then put that onto that little metal frame that my husband made. He's got little welding things and metal things and many different little things to make things for me. And then we attach that to the light stand, and then the light is also attached to the light stand at the top. And so that is serving as a diffuser for that light. So the light is plenty bright enough. It's directly in front of me I can still, I don't have to move it to walk in front of my desk. It's there. It does not interfere with anything. It is there. When you walk in the room, you obviously see it, but it's not in the way of anything. There is no legs. The desk is, it's clamped to the desk clamp. That's a C clamp is what they call that, and it's attached to that way. And I've played around with different lights, and what I am happy with now is the clamp light up here with a homemade diffuser on it with muslin cloth that I sewed to put on there. So it's just a regular, I think it was about $5 when we bought it. It's about $6 now. And it's just a clamp light with a daylight balanced light bulb in it, and then that homemade diffuser, and that's just clamped on a curtain rod that I have above me. That really holds back. It used to hold backdrops. I don't use it very much. And that's just clamped down to shine on me, to give me that hair light and to give me that little bit of separation between the wall. And then over here I have the Raubay, it's Raubay light, and that was the set that it was a whole set, 2 lights, $99, and it had 2 lights, remote control, the power cords, and the desk stands, with the C clamp, so the light stands that go onto a desk. And so what I'm using 2 different things. I'm using the Raleno light in front of me, and then that Raubay light. The Raleno light set was like about $140 for the 2 lights. It came with little stands and the power cords. It also has a built-in battery, which is very nice, and you can adjust it 1% at a time if you want. Both of them, you can adjust it to be 56K all the way down to 32K. I'll put links to this in case you're interested. But definitely I would say they're great lights. The battery lasts a long time. You don't have to have it, but then you have the cord there. The smaller side does not have a remote control. The 18-inch that I have in the studio does have a very nice remote control. And the other one does have a remote control as well. So this one is pointed over here. I don't know if you can tell, and I don't have the remote with me right now to be able to turn it off. But the purpose of it is to kind of light this up to where it's not, completely dark behind me, and also I think it's given me just a little bit of light on my hair. to give that separation. While the key light, and whenever you're learning light, you understand that the key light is supposed to be the brightest light, and that's why it's called the key light, and it is to light the person. So, having said all that, I hope that wasn't too jumbled up. I am very happy with my new setup, with my new camera, my new light, and I hope to be making a lot of videos now. Have a great weekend.